We made it to day 14 of my 21-day brand communications course. And in this episode, we're going to look at my strategic zone 7, the seventh and the last of my strategic zones. I use them as filters and lenses to look at how we can approach different problems, issues, challenges in our brand communications, and it's all about complexity. If you want to level up your strategic thinking, get comfortable with complexity. So if you're finding me in portrait style and you're not used to it because you're on YouTube, well, you know it's because the last few days and I batch create content, my Wi-Fi connectivity went down, and so it's portrait style using my phone, but it'll do because the content remains the same. Well done, you are here for day 14. If you are on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, you're welcome to. So let's do this. Let's look at reflexive thinking. Now, that's actually the purpose for the 21-day communications course. It's all about building your reflexivity so you can get better at on-the-spot thinking and solution finding. But you see, reflexivity also means learning your own patterns, not just spotting them, but really understanding how you think, what your go-tos are, and also checking your assumptions and potential blind spots. So for days 1 to 6, we looked at your audience, different segments, using your tone, your voice in different settings, about being authentic, and does it serve you or does it serve your audience? And when you are a critical thinker and you're employing your reflexivity, you can challenge yourself and you can actually avoid making mistakes so that you do become a much more effective communicator, so that you can spot opportunities and you can actually contribute to the narrative out there. We covered narrative and media literacy and zeitgeist awareness in a separate episode. But I want to ask you this, and we've been taking notes and discussing this in the comments on YouTube. So, are there any limitations within your brand communications and brand management journey that could potentially be showing you a different path, maybe even a better path? The limitation could be a platform issue. For me, it was me batch recording and then connectivity goes, but I'm working with it. Now, perhaps since doing a few episodes over here, I thought, oh, why am I not doing this more on TikTok? TikTok likes longer form as well. Don't worry, YouTube, I haven't abandoned you. You're still my number one. Because something happens, a limitation, a crisis, some incident, and if you are zooming out, which is what systems thinking is all about, and that's my background. Did I tell you about what I do? Yes, I've been in comms and media for 20 years more, and I have a background in systems thinking, but I also problem solve for brands, for entities, for peeps, especially around reputation and crisis comms. And so if there is a limitation suddenly within a platform that you normally communicate on, or there's a crisis, or perhaps as a solo creator and entrepreneur, it's to do with your workflow, that's the worst. Being present to the incident, the limitation, rather than reactive, will always reveal a new way of doing things. But be careful. Be careful you don't keep pivoting, because what that can do is it can destroy your consistency. So I'm just saying, I'll be going back to my usual setup for days 15 onwards. Why am I saying this? Is because your audience, your users, your stakeholders, we've covered stakeholders as well, they don't mind you switching things up a little bit if the quality is still there. But the mechanism, the way you communicate, the setting, the environment, all of these things help how you present and how you connect. And if you keep switching things up, it can destroy that consistency. For instance, if you are only communicating bad news via press release and good news on your blog, or the other way around, and suddenly you switch it up, it might not work, it might not land. Let's say people only want the good stuff, know about announcements, and they go to your site always. They don't really tune into trade media, right? and then suddenly you stop posting on your website because something happens. Instead of using social media platform, you decide to just do press releases. There's nothing on a native platform for you, as in something that belongs to you. Now you're using secondary voices because you're sending a press release. You're not doing it on your own platform. If your website's down or something's wrong with your blog, whatever, use your Substack, use your socials, make sure you direct people there, remind them this is what's going on. Of course, you can iterate. Of course, you can switch things up a little bit, but don't abandon your principles, because this is part of your engagement system, your content architecture. We covered this as well. These are things you cannot just abandon. And again, there won't always be perfect conditions. Sometimes you just have to use what you've got, right? That's the bricolage, the bricolayer mindset. Use what you have in your arsenal. But the worst thing is when you don't have perfect conditions and then you throw a strop and you're like, no, can't do it the way I normally do. It's like, no, you've got to use some other way, pigeon, some other way of communicating. And when you just are present to it and not panicking, not being reactive, you really do find new solutions, new ways of doing things. And it can actually be something that you add to your mix. It can be part of your new comms mix. So once again, I will ask you, are there any limitations? Any, ooh, wasn't expecting that, showing up right now that could actually show you a better path or an additional path, something new that you could be doing? This is actually the end of week 2. Thank you so much for sticking with it. You've done 2 weeks now. Once again, this was day 14 of my 21-day brand communications course. Thank you for being patient for these 3 recent episodes where I've had to take it to portrait. I'll be back because I like my other setup, my main setup. And if you are finding my videos outside of the bonus content area outside of the bonus content period, then you will know on YouTube there is a YouTube tutorial every Monday. And then I do bonus episodes such as these courses, as well as longer content creator news, as well as other commentary that can be available over here on YouTube or TikTok, if that's what you fancy. But you have been wonderful. Let me know your takeaways so far. 2 weeks done. The next week, ooh,